Hi, good evening. Welcome back to my channel. The other day I was talking about how we use contracts to protect us and maximize relationships when we have potential new business possibilities. And it got me thinking about the challenges that we sometimes have about how a contract can actually affect the structure of our business or even our business model or our processes and how we do things. It reminded me of when I was at the chemical company a number of years ago, and the major shareholder sent me a agreement where a company was proposing to do outsourced warehousing and logistics for us. We did our own warehousing and logistics, and they were offering us a cheaper solution. But there were two problems that I picked up. Firstly, I was aware that they had previously been in the chemical industry doing chemical distribution like we were doing. And they were going to be coming to the end of the restraint of trade that they had signed when they sold their business to another company and decided to go into purely warehousing and logistics. And we were not sure whether they intended to come back into the market as distributors. And the agreement was silent on it, and it worried me because I thought they're going to have access to our supply line because our goods are going to come from our suppliers into their warehouse. They're going to see all of our delivery notes. They are going to be delivering to our clients, so they're going to know where our clients are. If they see our invoices, they'll even know our costing. So if the agreement is silent on this, they could literally hijack our entire business. So obviously this was something that we needed to address and put the various protections into the agreement. But the second thing that I realized was that we were going to have to change the way we ordered and bought our goods, and we were going to have to change the way that we manage things within our information system and actually restructure certain things within our information system to make room for this new relationship and this new way of doing things. And then we were going to even have to change the way we took orders, placed orders with them to consolidate and to deliver, because the way that it used to flow through receiving the order from the client to go to our warehouse, get packed by our trucks and sent out was not going to be the same at all with working with the outsourced warehouse logistics. And one of the things I picked up on as well was that we were going to have a lag from where we were normally delivering to our clients within 24 hours of their order. We were going to have a lag with the outsourced warehousing and logistics. And I don't know about you, but you kind of, sometimes you're getting into a new relationship, and don't you ask yourself, like, I know that I've got a good relationship with my clients, and my clients respect my service, and my turnaround time is excellent. So now, will I, with this new service provider, still be able to deliver the level of service that I've been delivering to my clients, and how will it affect my relationships and my reputation? So that was something that we had to deal with, and we had to find solutions between the way we did things and the way they needed us to do things in order for us to now match our outsourced warehouse and logistics, which was effectively an extension of our business. So it brought its challenges, and we had to put it in. I eventually decided we're going to put somebody in their warehouse with our terminal with only the necessary information to do the deliveries, to protect us from various risks and from the receiving aspects, etc. And then the other thing that I remembered was about 18 months ago, I was asked by a company to review their agreements and review their processes. And please don't do this to your clients. Wow. Their agreements were so long and so difficult to read. They had lots of addendums attached. They had agreements, talking to agreements. They were structuring themselves with two different entities. that we're supposed to be sharing responsibilities and naming two different entities. It all got very confusing and contradictory. It took me 3 months to get through. And one of the biggest problems that I discovered was their structure did not speak to what they were promising to deliver the client. And they'd been having challenges from clients signing an engagement and actually physically allowing them to finish an implementation. And I understand that because of the nature of their business, they had to dot their I's and cross their T's, so they did need to have substantial agreements, but the agreements were they weren't working. And then to see that the underlying structures of the entities were contradictory to what they were promising the clients in those agreements. So we had to sit down and we had to look at these agreements. We had to fix all the errors in the agreements. We literally rewrote them, tossed out the addendums and all the extra bits and pieces. Then we had to go through the processes and the documentation, and their documentation wasn't even fully speaking to what they intended to do. And then we even had to ask the question, do you need the two entities? Are the two entities relevant? And from what you're explaining that you're going to do, can you have one agreement with one entity? So they had to sit down and they had to rethink themselves. And wow, the progress that they've made is amazing. And the implementations that they've done since then has been fantastic. So it was a very worthwhile experience. So you might have a situation where you're doing part of the service and someone else is going to do another part of the service for you. I know one of the entities that we work in, that we have that situation where part of the project is done in-house, and then we have a relationship with a third party that completes the rest of the project. So ideally what we need to do then is we sit down and we say, all right, we're now going to be engaging with Mr. X to do that second section for us. But how do we marry what we're doing in our project, our part and phases of the project, to what they do, and how they bring the people through the process when they receive them from us? So the important thing is that there's somebody at top management, somebody at middle management, and somebody at the coalface that understands and knows the processes, the documents, the rules of engagement, what's in scope, what's out of scope, and then also that the documents, I always talk about your outputs being my inputs, or my inputs being my outputs being your inputs, so that we need to understand what do I need to put out for you so that you can do what you need to do, so that you are actually delivering the service that you've contracted to do. So it's always a useful idea to actually say, all right, well, we're entering into this agreement. Let's sit down with the people at the various levels that are actually going to physically make this thing happen. Let's agree and discuss the process flow so that we can streamline our businesses together and make sure that the client just sees one organization. They're not seeing, oh, my organization and Mr. X. They're just seeing this is the organization that they sign up for the service with, and here's the service delivery, and it's streamlined, it's effective, the project is brought to a successful close. So that was the thought that I wanted to just share with you. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has experienced this, that you literally have to rethink, what is the relationship we're getting into? What are we contracting for? What will my business look like as a result of it? Do I have to change information systems, staff structures, logistic structures? What is it? And what do I communicate with my clients if necessary with regards to the changes, like we had to do when we outsourced our warehousing and suddenly these strange trucks are arriving to deliver to the customers. So think about it, enjoy, stay well, be blessed, and please stay safe.